Level 1, the replacement. You tear open the cardboard ration box, stuff the soggy scraps into your waterlogged boots. A futile effort. The cold from the knee-deep mud of the Hurtgen forest seeps into your bones. The tingling itch begins. The skin between your toes turns red, festering. Trenchfoot. You are 25. Drafted. In Ohio, a wife and a kid are waiting. Your pay is $50 a month. The casualty rate for replacements is 50% in the first 3 days alone. Math makes no exceptions. The command report reads, "The front line has been reinforced with fresh troops." The truth, the system just tossed a raw gear into the meat grinder. You take over a flooded foxhole. Its previous owner was torn apart by a mortar shell 3 days ago outside Aachen. 17 weeks of training at Fort Benning bought you 15 pounds of muscle. Your brand new uniform is quickly caked in black dirt. The M1 Garand weighs heavy in your hands. You stare wide-eyed into the dark. A branch snaps. Your nervous system tenses against an invisible sniper bullet or shrapnel. This war is not yours. The veterans around you do not look up. They look right through you. They do not ask your name. They call you the replacement. Learning a man's name takes time. Memorizing a corpse is pointless. They know you will be dead before the weekends. You are not here to be a hero. You are just an empty slot that has been filled. Level 2, the Rifleman. Ice rattles inside your steel canteen. You bite down hard. A tooth chips. The D-ration chocolate bar is frozen solid as a rock. The K-ration slides into your stomach, tasting like cardboard soaked in motor oil. You haven't been dry in 6 days. 38 hours without sleep. The Ardennes pine forest. Christmas 1944. Temperatures drop well below zero. Your fingertips have turned black. The infantry casualty rate is 3 times higher than armor, 11 times higher than artillery. Tens of thousands of men don't fall to bullets. They lose limbs to frostbite. You buckle under 64 pounds of gear. A winter coat stripped from a dead German is pulled over your American uniform. High Command's official report reads, "The Army valiantly holds the line." The truth in the trenches. Foxholes shielded by frozen German corpses, stacked like sandbags to stop incoming fire. Your first firefight lasts 11 minutes. Time fractures. Your brain registers it as 11 hours. The man right next to you takes a round through the throat. A wet, choking sound follows. You do not turn your head. Your eyes go blank. The 1,000-yard stare sets in. Mechanical paralysis swallows your consciousness. You pull the trigger. Your body fires blindly at the muzzle flashes ahead because it is the only function it still knows how to perform. Nobody cares about the artillery anymore. The cold overpowers everything. Level 3, the corporal. You hold a rag, rub frantically at the steel magazine of the BAR. The dried blood of your former squad mate clings to every groove. Rust mixes with a silent metallic stench. Spring, 1945. Crossing the Siegfried Line. 60 days of surviving in hell have turned you into a veteran. On your sleeve, a chevron hastily drawn in black ink. Corporal. On your neck, the scar from your first piece of shrapnel cuts across. The brass's report notes. Battlefield promotion for outstanding bravery. The truth is, you were promoted only because the previous corporal had half his skull blown off right next to you. There is no glory, only the mechanical operation of the war machine. You are 26. Your pay bumps up to $66 a month. This war has already ground up 137,000 infantrymen. The heavy BAR on your shoulder automatically makes you the #1 priority target for German MG-42 nests. Survival math is never on your side. The system just tossed you 3 lives. One of them is a kid, barely 19. You shove him into the best covered position. You don't tell him why. Responsibility starts taking root. The weight of human life is more brutal than the weight of your gear. Your primary concern is no longer enemy bullets tearing into your flesh. It's the fear that weak fire from these hands will leave 3 men in your fire team dead in the mud forever. Level 4. The Sergeant. The smell of pulverized brick and rotting corpses beneath the concrete is permanently etched into your nasal cavities. Swallowing, you taste the full, rusty flavor of blood. The rubble of cologne. You are 27. Sergeant. Pay is $78 a month. Infantry makes up only 14% of the armed forces, yet bears 70% of all casualties. Math does not lie. Explosions echoing through narrow alleys destroy your hearing. Your face is blackened by gun smoke. The Thompson submachine gun in your hands is always chambered, ready to clear every street corner. You are responsible for 12 lives. Staff reports read, "Conducting systematic pacification of urban areas." The reality is smoke-filled basements. The grenade you toss down there detonates with a muffled thud. It might have just shredded a group of hiding children. No one goes down to check. Command keeps feeding lone individual replacements into your squad. Yesterday, it was a 20-year-old kid from Iowa. Never heard a shot fired in anger. He is dead in exactly 1 week. You refuse to learn the replacements' names. Memorizing an identity right now is entirely worthless. It's easier this way. When a man falls, you simply reshuffle the formation, plug the gap with the living. Cold-blooded calculation replaces humanity, weighing human lives against inches of garbage-strewn ground. The machine grinds on. Level 5, the Staff Sergeant. You tear the flap off a cardboard ration box, flip it over, pick up a pencil. Clean paper ran out a week ago. You write 3 KIA letters on this greasy piece of cardboard. April 1945. The final push into Germany. You are 27. Hair speckled with gray, knees shot, vocal cords permanently wrecked from screaming over artillery fire. You carry an M1 carbine to keep your hands free to command. You hold absolute power of life and death over 12 men. You decide who takes point, who flanks left, who goes right. Every tactical order is a coin flip. Heads, someone breathes. Tails, someone goes home in a pine box. Current pay is $96 a month. Since the beaches of Normandy, 40 men have cycled through your squad. Life expectancy for this position is measured in weeks. Of those 40 men, you only remember the faces of those who died the worst. Battlefield reports declare, resistance from enemy remnants is very light. The silent truth. A 14-year-old Hitler youth sniper just killed 3 replacements before his skull was caved in. The Army calls your condition combat exhaustion. It is not suicidal ideation. It is total indifference. All emotions burned out months ago. You do not look at the replacements' faces. You are nothing but an empty shell. A survival mechanism that knows how to chamber a round, check a perimeter, and chew food. Level 6, the Second Lieutenant. You press a dirty strip of medical tape onto your steel helmet, covering the shiny gold bar insignia, a desperate attempt to avoid snipers. The spot is just a grimy, sticky rectangle now. Bavaria, the final mopping up patrols. You are 28, barely 90 days out of officer candidate school. The system hands you 40 lives and a salary of $150 a month. In infantry divisions, a platoon leader's life expectancy is measured in days, not weeks. Your stomach knots with chronic ulcers. Both hands shake constantly from nerve damage. You carry only a map case and binoculars. The Germans know exactly what that gold bar on your collar means. Orders dictate you must walk point. At night, you write letters home to the families. Served with distinction. Gave his life bravely for his country. You stay absolutely silent about Private Kowalski getting cut in half by a machine gun while biting into a chocolate bar. Your survival depends entirely on the platoon sergeant, an aging veteran who constantly calls you sir while quietly keeping you from getting killed. The pressure crushes your consciousness. You stare at the contour lines on the map. one wrong number, one miscalculated azimuth, and you will walk 40 men straight into an artillery barrage. Level 7, the captain. Phantom itch, tears at the stump. Your left foot was amputated up to the ankle, but your brain still fires itch signals. You cannot reach down to scratch empty air. Your remaining hand holds a pen, signing discharge papers. Field hospital. VE Day. You stepped on a mine outside a village whose name you can't even pronounce. You are 28. Captain. Pay is $200 a month. You once held the lives of 187 enlisted men in your hands. In the Herdgen Forest, your company took 650% casualties over 6 months. Extreme mathematics. Those 187 positions were filled and wiped out entirely 6 consecutive times. The medical file is stamped in red. Honorable discharge, awarded the Purple Heart, a hero returning home. The reality is a 28-year-old old man addicted to morphine, leaning on crutches. The officer's uniform hangs loosely on an emaciated frame. Stripped of your weapons. By next Tuesday, the company will have a new captain. The machine replaces broken cogs instantly. You have survivor's guilt. You stood there, gave the orders, and watched hundreds of replacements rot in the European mud. You are no longer terrified of artillery shells or death. You are terrified of having to keep breathing, of having to carry the lives of hundreds of invisible men for the rest of your life on a wooden crutch. Level 8, the General. SHAEF underground bunker. 4:15 a.m. You take a drag from your 80th camel of the day. Take a sip of cold coffee. Under the desk, where no one can see, your hands shake. In your breast pocket is a pre-signed letter. It takes full responsibility in case the invasion fails. June 5th, 1944. You are the Supreme Commander. Pay is $666 a month. You hold 156,000 lives and 5,000 ships in your hands. Your only weapon is a fountain pen. It is clipped neatly to your perfectly pressed 5-star uniform. Your eyes are dark-circled, dead from lack of sleep. Meteorologists forecast a storm. They say the weather might break. Based on that might, you have to launch the largest amphibious invasion in human history. The order of the day reads, The Great Crusade to Liberate Europe. The silent truth on the map table is cold-blooded calculation. You are about to throw tens of thousands of 20-year-olds, boys you looked directly in the eyes yesterday, straight into fortified MG-42 machine gun nests on a French beach. You put the pen down. The order is given. The next morning, that decision claims exactly 2,500 lives. You are carrying the weight of God, the burden of deciding the fate of millions of men with a signature. Those 2,500 corpses are an acceptable rate of attrition, but they will weigh on your mind until the day you close your eyes. Even when you step into the Oval Office and become President of the United States, this massive machine always requires blood to run. Level 9. The Veteran. The crackle of fireworks erupts in the night sky on the 4th of July. Your muscles involuntarily spasm. You dive straight under the dining table. Both hands clutch your head. The hands that once squeezed a rifle trigger now shake so violently they cannot hold a glass of whiskey at eye level. America, 1949. You are only 30. Your weight has plummeted horribly, down to exactly 130 pounds. Tens of thousands of veterans bring combat exhaustion home with them. Not a single one is diagnosed. Not a single one is treated. Peacetime mathematics refuses to count invisible wounds. The radio constantly blares, an era of peace, prosperity, and the post-war American dream. The truth here is that the nightmares never truly stop. Baggy civilian clothes hide a prematurely aged body. The M1 Garand, oiled and preserved, is hidden silently in the deepest corner of the closet. You work in a factory, a quiet suburban house. You only tell your son the funny stories. The bloody reality is locked away tight. Your wife flinches, pulling her hand back whenever she accidentally touches your shoulder. Your dead, 1,000-yard stare piercing through the walls makes her cringe. You are no longer afraid of enemy fire or machine guns. You are terrified of your own mind, terrified of closing your eyes every night. The past is quietly swallowing the peaceful present you sacrificed everything to get. The military machine spit you out, but the war is here to stay forever. But somewhere right now, another 18-year-old is getting a letter from the government. He uses his bare hands to slam against the freezing block of steel. The bolt of his M1 Garand is frozen solid by ice and snow. He shivers uncontrollably. His teeth chatter violently as he mechanically chews a bitter K-ration. Chosin Reservoir. Winter 1950. Only 5 years have passed since the war to end all wars ended. He is 18 years old. A draft notice just stuffed him onto a train heading to an unnamed coordinate. Political reports proclaim a police action to stem the communist tide. The brutal reality, the war machine just hit the restart button. The ranks change. The wars do not. The giant meat grinder is still sitting right there, repeating the same blood-soaked snow, the exact same deaths. The army is not an adventure. It is a massive industrial machine made of 16 million parts. In that system, his life is clearly categorized as replaceable. A baby face, eyes wide with naive panic. He looks exactly like the ghost who once walked into the Hurtgen forest. He is issued the exact same oversized steel helmet. He holds the exact same rifle model the previous generation carried. The loop restarts. Primal survival instincts kick in. This kid has absolutely no idea what brutal moral rot awaits him at the end of the road. He is just a fresh, new cog, just bolted into an endlessly running machine.